Yeah.
So
Not this
like,
time.
the vibe is a little different, right? And I get where you were going with it, of course. I would just think about the like how the font looks a little bit more. So you want it to kind of sit away from the visual. So not so like let me explain it like this. If we look at yours, it kind of looks like they blend in together,
Yeah.
right? So you want to have it more like it almost kind of looks like a landing page,
Yeah.
right?
Easy
So let's
fix.
get it easy fix. Um, lesser is more. That's perfect. That's an M. So learn more. DM partner to learn more. Yeah. Performance based marketing. Do you want to be marketing or do you want them to know it as sales?
Marketing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Performance based marketing for owner. Yeah. So I might, so maybe do something like, let's try something kind of like this. So pay attention to kind of this language right here.
Yeah.
So it's just shifting a little bit of the target, like the carrot. So you want people to look at it and go, oh, this is the exact problem that he's solving for me. Versus like, okay, I understand under 1 million. Okay, I get it. There's just a little bit of nuance there that you can add so then people automatically don't have to start scrolling to see and clarify if it's really for them or not.
Yeah.
Right. So aesthetics, visuals, right? And then you can also add a profile video.
Hmm.
So you can do a lyric video. You can do. I've seen people do like $10,000 commercials. They'll be in like a plane or something crazy.
That's funny.
Yeah. So it's a 30-second. It's a new feature for LinkedIn, so you can put that. That helps. Um, I do kind of like what you did here because I think like this type of language is very, like acquisition, owner operated. That type of language is very specific to who you're trying to talk to. So I like that.
Yeah.
Is it that they want to reach 10 million? Is that the goal?
Interestingly, so the only reason that I have greater than 1 million, in other words, we don't want to help anybody that doesn't have at least $1 million in revenue. And even that's low. Like, I might bump that up to $2 million. So in other words, as I said earlier, it's really easy to help people that are moderately successful become very,
Yeah.
if they're not doing a couple $100,000 a month, there's not a lot to optimize and do better with.
Mm-hmm.
And their ambitious goals don't need to be money. I mean, here's what I've learned about this avatar. Owner operated still wears all the hats, right?
Yeah.
It's niche agnostic, but they've built some kind of business and got it successful, at least $100,000 a month. And what they used to do to build the business has halted because now they're actually doing business.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So they got it there. And interestingly, people will be like messaging these guys going, oh, dude, we can get you X more leads or we can get you X more money
And
or
they're
whatever.
like, I don't need that.
They're so busy doing what they're doing, they don't even know what their ambitious goal is. And so in my long copy and in my video, I'm like, it's cool if you don't have an ambitious goal. You need to be open to one. We want to do some big stuff. But if you don't know what that should even be yet, let us help you pick the first one that you should have, right?
That makes sense. So they don't even know if they want to acquire another agency
Yeah.
or do.
Yeah. But sales 101 is always the why. So you can speak to, let's say somebody owns a manufacturing company. They're trying to go direct to market. They've got some distributors. Dude's making $2 or $3 million a year.
Yeah.
He built this business. He's 48 years of age, 50 years of age. And someday him and his wife are going to go off into the sunset, sell this business or whatever, right?
Right.
Wife has a cancer scare. Someday becomes yesterday.
Right.
No business owner wakes up in the morning and says, man, I can't wait to buy me some Facebook ads. Right.
It's
So
crazy. It's like, I almost feel like they do, but not at that level.
Yeah. So when you're speaking to him and he's talking to you about like a marketing agency, well, do you do Facebook ads? I'm like, why would you even want to do any of that? Like, why do you want to do this stuff? Then they start to open up. If you build a good rapport with them, it's like, well, I'm looking at my numbers. I am the business. If I like, I'm owner operated. If I leave, so if I get to a certain level, I can put in middle level management. Or if I get to a certain level, I can exit at a multiplier. I'm like, okay, that's the real task. He doesn't care about CPCs, CPMs, click through rates, landing pages. You don't even talk about that shit. Find out what the bigger picture goal is. And then your team, who are the experts, will do the stuff that will line that goal up. And all you're ever doing is staying in rapport on the big goal. Are you booking flights? Are you starting to look at houses in the islands yet? Is your wife getting excited about the trajectory of this business that you'll be able to do this in 12 months? Right? That's how you keep people with you forever. You partner at them at a real level, and the rest is bullshit. How, you know what I mean? It's just mechanics.
Exactly what you mean. It's scary because it's triggering, honestly, because I think, I was guilty of a lot of that. Like, I just wanted to make my first 30,000. That's all I wanted. I wanted to make 30,000 or 40,000 in one day. And then I thought I was the shit, and then I realized like, that's not anything.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay.
And you're dealing with a different market at that level, right?
Yeah.
So in other words, people who've never had money, of course, the first thing you just want is to like be able to pay your bills and have a decent car. But if you've got people that are doing at least $1 million, and preferably it'd be $2 or $3 million a year, they already own the house. Right. They already have the cars, probably have the boat and that stuff. What they don't have is time freedom and an exit strategy. And maybe they're not even that excited about the business anymore. You can't imagine how many business owners I've spoken to when I was doing custom software where they were just looking for an ally.
Really?
Their friends don't get them. Their wife doesn't want to hear about it anymore because work has, or their husband has, work has taken them away from them.
Yeah.
So they have the house, they have the stuff, but the relationship's not quite good anymore. So do you think the wife or the husband gets fired up about growth? No. That just means you're going to be gone an extra 10 hours a week.
Wow.
Do you think the employees are excited about growth? Man, they just want their paycheck.
Have more responsibilities.
So I've actually had business owners meet with me privately and say, how can you help me sell this to my people? Right? They have an ambitious goal, but nobody's on side with them.
Right.
And they need a partner in their corner that can translate that to benefit for everybody. So, bigger picture, like who gives a shit about Facebook ads or websites, right? There's always a bigger picture at play. And I have watched in massive Fortune 500 companies, pieces of software be built for millions of dollars, and that project get canned because a receptionist refuses to use it.
Really?
There's no buy-in. Like all you need is one admin who is really the person that is the glue to that department, who makes her VP look good. She's helped him get multiple promotions.
Right.
And she's just disgruntled and refuses to use this piece of shit software.
Wow.
It gets canned. They don't care if they spent $2 million on it. Sally doesn't like it. Let's go back to Excel.
Yikes.
So if at that level you can't get people to buy in, do you think you can get employees to buy in on a $20,000 website? Or a change in their sales process or something you're recommending on Facebook ads? So it always goes back to human beings, right?
Peter, you're fucking good, man. I think it's scary how good you are at this because like what you're doing is you're asking such good questions that I remember that every single time we had a conversation, I leveled up massively and added a 0 to my emotional bank account and my financial. Because just you reminding me how you start the calls so different, it gives me permission to do it. Because that's what I've been wanting to do. I just felt like I wasn't worthy enough to start the call that way.
It's about being authentic though, because you're in the music industry. It's an epic flop if a musician tries to be another musician. And if you spend enough time around the best salespeople in the world, you're going to find out like what's really amazing. Somebody like Tyler's team or other teams that I've witnessed, you can get a group of individuals that would not be able to agree or work towards anything else. You got some conservatives in the room, you got some Dems in the room, you got LGBTQ in the room, you got everything, right? You got the guy who's carrying the shotgun on the back of his pickup truck. In any other venue, they might not be a team, but yet let them sell the way that they sell. And you got individual rock stars that are building this company. And you shouldn't try and do it the way that somebody else does. It may an epic fail for you. You know what I mean? Like you can learn new methods, and you can give yourself permission to break the stereotype, which is, you know, you got to hard close and you got to dig into the emotions. It also becomes
It just doesn't work that well for me, honestly.
No.
And to be honest,
because you're a genuine person. It's contrary. The hard sell is contrary to your natural personality.
Yeah.
You don't do that in any other avenue of your life.
Yeah.
Why would you do it in business?
I mean, that's the only way I knew how.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because that's how they're teaching it.
Yeah.
You got to book the follow up. You got to chase the money. You got to make them feel stupid if they're not making a decision right now. It's not necessary. You can still make tons of money and make it. And also it avoids burnout, because if you create a business around a way that's not genuine to you, how long are you going to want to do that?
What was that beginning statement you use on calls that works for you?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the time I'll just open and say, you know, there's zero expectation of doing business on this phone call. I'm just here to get to know you and, you know, see if we're a fit for each other. And that just, some people don't believe it. And then some people just start to let go of it. Right. And just start to open up about and then
it
find out
doesn't
why.
matter if they believe it or not, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it's way different than a tight frame that says, so we're on a 45-minute phone call. I'm going to be asking you some questions and I expect a decision by the end of the call. I mean, come on, really? Click. Right. And the only people that buy, like, I can sell that way if I need to.
I see.
I don't want to use my superpowers for evil. And the truth is, the only people that buy in a hard frame and off of confidence are unsophisticated buyers.
Got it. That okay.
Sophisticated buyers buy off of
because I'm selling to people that are sophisticated. That's why it doesn't work.
Yep. So sophisticated buyers buy off of insight.
I get it.
Explain something to them that they never understood. And is it all?
I like to explain it real simple. It's like, hey, would you drive your car without oil in it? No. Then why are you running outreach on your LinkedIn and it looks like it's from 1975?
Yeah.
It just doesn't actually work. Like, you know, it doesn't work. So why are we really here, bro? Like, what's up?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I mean, there's a big thing. I was thinking of doing a video about this, but there's people also, like, you can't live in a bubble, right? Like, you don't go outside in a snowsuit in the middle of summertime when everybody's wearing a bathing suit. You look like a moron. We're so into doing what we're doing that we're not paying attention to the world around us. Like, here's an example.
Yeah.
Have you heard about this thing called a recession?
I've heard about it.
Right? Do you think other people might be a little bit worried? I have listened to dozens and dozens and dozens of calls from other closers recently while we're talking about the recession, while CNN is scaring people to death. And every piece of marketing right now, every piece of everything is, you know, so we could get you making an extra $10,000 or $15,000 a month. Do you want to build a business? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? A man who's like in a burning building doesn't want a new couch.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Even if you're selling marketing to business owners, the first things out of your mouth should be to gauge the temperature of the room. So I know we're talking about marketing and stuff like that, but aside from marketing, like, what's your outlook for the next like 12 to 18 months? What are you thinking? Do you think your business is going to go down? What about like your competitors? Like, just in general, do you think like this is going to be a tough time for you guys? Oh man, it's going to be brutal. I think some of my competitors are going to go out of business and stuff like that. I'm like, you know, I'm a big believer in being realistic. I know everybody out there wants to sell you marketing so you can double your sales. Would it be cool if we get you through the recession unscathed? How about if we just keep you standing? Like, shouldn't that be our first goal? Like, everybody wants to talk to you about like doubling everything. Right?
Positioning.
It's ridiculous. So we're trying to sell like stuff that doesn't make sense to people. And we're also not tapping into the true fear, because when they leave the call, so if you leave this out, so if I'm trying to sell a program and I get them dreaming about $20,000 a month, $30,000 a month, you could, you know, have your own business, leave your job. When he hangs up that phone and he's sleeping that night, he's not thinking about the offer. He's thinking about losing his job because of the recession. And if he loses his job, he better keep all the money in the bank and not spend it on a program right now. Right? So the pitch on the program should have been an insurance policy against your job loss. Not about fancy cars and 3 houses and getting to live the life and traveling around the world. The real concern this person has, if you gauged them, was, shit, I could be laid off in 2 months. Like, I'm seeing Biden and CNN and they're scaring the shit out of me. Well, then they would have easily bought into something that would have given them an insurance policy.
Almost like their 401k or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I don't know why, for whatever reason, like people develop tactics in industries and they use those tactics despite what's going on around them, right? Everybody's got to wear sunglasses, but what about at nighttime? Why are you wearing them now? Like, pay attention to what's going on around you in the world. And the best way to do that, like if you're clueless, if you had no television, no radio, ask them how they feel. Like, are you excited about what's going to happen for the next 12 months? And if some people won't admit their own feelings, ask them about their industry. What's your industry like right now? Do you think it's on a growth trend for the next 12 months, or do you think it's going to suffer? Because they won't maybe talk about themselves, but that friend they know who owns the same kind of business is probably looking at layoffs, right?
Exactly. And so for me, I think the hardest pill, like bit of truth you kind of reminded me of is, yes, I'm average at sales, but I'm absolutely capable of being way above average if I'm more authentic.
Yeah.
I'm just not being authentic because of fear. I'll just be vulnerable, man. It's probably because of fear. It's probably because I just now got a green bill of health. So I'm not operating from survival anymore.
Absolutely.
You know?
And that, you know, that's going to be a weird psychological thing.
It's going to be hard for me. I know.
My son's doctors prepared us for this. He's on a liver transplant list and really smart guy. And he said, you know, what's really interesting is when people suffer for a long time from something that's debilitating to their body, which of course creeps into the mind, they start to attach their lack of being able to do things in other areas of their life to that thing. Yeah. And when we pull that thing away, there's no more excuses.
Yeah. Then
fear sets in. They're almost afraid to step up to bat now because what if it wasn't the thing, but it's them? Right?
Exactly. I always knew it wasn't the thing, but it didn't matter because it was, you know, it was debilitating enough.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't stay on a Zoom call more than 30 minutes without, you know, having heart palpitations or dizziness or.
And that's an extreme example, but when you take it down a few notches to just normal human behavior, the truth is people work on a funnel forever because if they don't launch it, they can still believe that it would be successful if they did. But as soon as you do launch it, right? Same with putting yourself out there in the dating world. Same with making an offer. If you don't make the offer, you can't be rejected, right? So that's why people procrastinate. That's one of the reasons why done-for-you programs have such amazing results, but at the same time are so bloody frightening. So you're actually removing all the roadblocks and just throwing me out there and seeing if I can actually do it. Right? Same with what you're doing. Oh, well, I don't have clients because my LinkedIn profile sucks. Cool. Check that off. Oh, I don't have any outreach and I don't have any book calls. Cool. Check that off. Now what's the excuse? Right?
You don't have enough profiles. You only have one.
Yeah.
Let's fix that.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. I mean, you know, the beauty about what we do for a living is that it mimics the journey of life in many respects, and your business grows as do you, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's pretty exciting. I can't think of any reason why anybody would ever retire.
Well, maybe they want to. I can think of 10 why I would. In the future, of course, not now, but when I was in it, when I was really in it, I mean, every day I would want to. I was waiting for somebody to. If somebody walked up and was like, "Here's $500,000, Kevin. You can go rest now. You don't have to operate, but we want you to be on a call once a month.
Yeah.
So and you get to keep 20% or whatever." That would have been like my perfect scenario. But I'm kind of glad it didn't happen, you know? Yeah. Now I get to keep 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. 100% for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I can see the effect that would have because I've assessed so many closers over the years. Like, I can tell you how closer's doing. Just let me break into his house. Bed's not made, life's not together, relationships are rough, person's out of shape physically. Closing tanks. It's a human business. Like, I've seen closers at the top of their game where they just make a ton of money and then all of a sudden it goes down. It has nothing to do with their script, what they're selling, something's gone on in their personal life that takes away their power.
Wow.
Right? The frame of mind that they're in, like they've just given up on stuff, and you just got to dig into the results that people are getting. Like, the flip side is you have people show up on sales calls with you, and you get those people that try and put themselves up here.
Exactly.
They don't want to be.
I had that happen yesterday.
So they're like, dude, I've been in business for 23 years. I've started 5 businesses. I've had 3 exits.
Yep,
I've been happily married for 27 years.
27
I mean,
years.
they're just knock it out there, right?
Yeah.
But if you sit back and internalize it and ask yourself and just look around you, but what's the result? So as an example, I've been married for 23 years. Still have sex. You're 40 pounds overweight. You don't take care of yourself. You're never home. Your wife still look at you the way she used to? Bet she doesn't. Right? I've exited 3 businesses. I'm so successful. Why are you on this call with me? Like, a successful guy booked a call with you to redo his website or to redo because he's that successful.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? You can't say that to somebody, but you can ask probing questions.
Right. You can actually non-verbally say it to him.
Yeah.
With your tone.
Yeah.
I remember somebody got upset. Like, this one guy got really upset because he actually thought I was gonna let him keep interrupting me. He would actually not let me finish. Yeah. Like, imagine if you and I were talking, but you just stopped me. Hey, Peter, I wasn't done talking, right? Every single time. I was like, why does he keep doing this? What is it? Yeah. I was like, oh, he's hurting. He doesn't like that he had to come get on a call with a 28-year-old.
Yeah. Yeah, it's super painful. And I mean, we all have that side of us. You can wake up on it. I can wake up on any given morning. I can wake up tomorrow and think, I won the lottery by being born in Canada.
Yeah.
I have my health. I have my wife. Or I could wake up the next day and be like, this country sucks, man. It's minus 30 degrees in the wintertime here. I can't believe I don't get to date, any women that I want to. I'm stuck with this girl. It's been 23 years now. Damn it, my hair is gone. I used to have hair. Like, I mean, you can be the same person. I give it, like, the next day, you're totally different in attitude. Those people show up revved up on the call to try and, like, be up here.
Yeah.
And I just love on them, but at the same time, like, I ask probing questions, like, what's the result of that? Especially revenue numbers, right? You just dig into revenue numbers, like, what's your monthly recurring? How many customers you're serving? What are you charging? What's that?
I made 2.1, but I didn't make any money. That's not a win, dude. That's not something to be proud of.
Yeah. But the art form is digging into it and getting them to be real with you without causing them injury.
Yeah. Without causing injury. That's the key.
Right. And then actually offering a path forward that's useful to them and not just self-serving. Yeah. And actually having a willingness to dig into whether or not it's going to be beneficial to them and be honest and say, we could help you, but you're not ready. And this is why I think you're not. If somebody's super resistant and they keep interrupting you, I want to work with people that I envision working together for 10 years. And we're not there right now. Maybe it's trust. Maybe I've done something wrong. Why don't you follow my posts for a while and see if you come back liking me as a person or something, right? Like, let's not do business today. Let's part ways as friends today. This is not going too good. Let's see how that turns out. Maybe in a couple of weeks or something like that, I'll touch base or whatever. Like, just, it's not about the money, right? Build a relationship first. The people you can turn around end up being like evangelists.
Oh yeah. Yeah. My favorite customer.
Your harshest critics.
My favorite, but one of my favorite customers. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3 months later, she came back to me.
Yeah, because they don't know you at first. You're like everybody else that's tried to pitch them, right? So it's interesting.
Man, oh man. All right, brother. Let's go sleep.
Yep.
Nap time. Man, so honored to speak with you, bro.
It was awesome to catch up.
Thank you for loving me, appreciating me, helping me grow. A lot of people don't know this, but Peter was actually my very first window into the whole online coaching world. I've never bought a program or knew anything about it. You were like my first online coaching experience, man, and I'm glad. Yeah.
Well, it was an awesome experience for me too, and I've cited your drive to people because when you came to that, things couldn't be worse financially. Things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you had this raw determination to make it happen, and that's what I look for in people when I'm speaking to them. It doesn't matter what it is, relationships, money, whatever it is. You should look at it. I'm going to make this work no matter what. Mm-hmm. That's the attitude you need, right? because the shit's gonna hit the fan.
It's gonna it's gonna hit 100 fans.
all these programs claiming it's gonna be easy and come on, really? No, you got to be tenacious.
Absolutely.
Right. So
Absolutely.
I you were obviously very tenacious, and that's why you've been able to do what you do and change so many lives. So blessing for me too.
Absolutely. If people want to reach out to you, how can they get in touch?
They can send a message to peter@peterlessard.com. They can friend request me on Facebook if they want to. That's all cool. So just look for Peter Lessard, and you can't miss me because I got no hair. So I'm easy to find there. But always happy to have a chat and connect with people. And if I